Welcome to the inaugural Fine Vine Wines video podcast. So what is it about? It's about drinking wine, chatting with people. And so if you're watching online, if you're watching on YouTube and you don't have time to watch it all, you can listen to the podcast. If you're listening on the podcast, then come and check out the videos, and always subscribe and follow me on Instagram for daily updates on wine. And so on this first ever video podcast, I'm with Paul. He's my father-in-law, but more than that, he's a really interesting chap. So we're going to sit, have some wine and just chat. So here we have this wine. I'm going to pour you out first, Paul.
Oh, thank you very much. Do like a little glass, if I say so myself.
Now, I've left this to air for a couple of hours in the hopes of really opening it up. Take a sip.
Cheers. Mm.
Oh. Okay, so do you know what this is at all? Have you looked at the bottle?
No.
You haven't?
No.
I thought you might have a sneaky look while I was chit-chatting.
I didn't think about it.
Okay, fair
I'm used to a Van Ordinaire, you see.
A Van Ordinaire, which is actually a wine, of course, from Burgundy. Thoughts?
Mm.
Yes.
Very nice. Very
No?
nice. No, I love it. Better than my normal table Van Ordinaire.
Okay. So when we're tasting wine, we really want to fill our mouths with it, take in the aroma. So what, like, when you smell it, did you think of anything, or is it?
It just smells absolutely lovely compared with the lots of ones I ever drink.
Yeah. Actually, it's
fruity. You can make up all these fancy words, vanilla. I mean, you
maybe.
can keep going.
Yeah.
I can keep going on.
The thing with this actually is it's very youthful. This could be drunk in 10 years from now quite easily. You still get that sort of sharpness on the fruit. It's very like rich and sharp at the initial tasting. Basically, so where this is from is a place called Juliana. Juliana? It's not from Juliana, I can tell you that very much. It's from Saint-Julien, which is a place in Bordeaux, which is sort of near where you live.
Mm-hmm.
And these are classically very cherry in flavour, and I don't know if you're getting that when you smell it. So if you think of cherries, you'll get like a chocolatey cherry note.
Indeed, yep, possibly.
And this particular bottle is a Léoville Baton. I told you to turn your phone off. Are you going to do it?
I'm a technophobe.
He's a technophobe.
So how do I actually turn it off?
You,
There you go.
oh my word. On the pod. I don't know how your phone works. I don't know how your phone works.
Just press a button on the side. It doesn't matter, only a little click. We all like a click.
Oh my word. That shows how far behind I am now. I don't know how your phone works.
I'll take it. Must be the Prime Minister.
He's got an iPhone 11 and I'm stuck in iPhone 8 where you've got a button to push. Right.
Anyway.
So,
We digress.
So you're here for a couple of days, but basically, you live in a very wine-ladled region of the world. Where do you live?
Yeah, I live 100 miles south of Bordeaux.
Yeah.
Les Landes. Famous for foie gras.
Yeah.
Confit du canard. And in the Bayonne area, Jambon de Bayonne.
Yeah.
So everyone's very proud. All the little farmers have their little areas, and they all think they do the best foie gras.
And they're all
There's
pretty
big
good, to be fair.
competitions, and it's very, very good. And they all love the local wine, which is Toussaint, where we are.
Yeah.
And Chalos.
Yeah. In fact, you've got several really big appellations near where you are. You've got Toussaint, and then you've got Madaran, and then you've got
Yep.
one that sits on top of Madaran. Oh, what is the name? It's got such a weird name. Vicbil. It's
I
like,
don't know.
and so Madaran is for the red, and Vicbil is for the white.
Mm-hmm.
And the Madaran is so rich, it's tannin, and those are perfect for lamb. And so where you live, they've got the longest lifespan in all of France.
Ah.
There's loads of 100-year-old people eating.
Yeah.
Sorry, not lamb, duck.
Yeah.
So you're in duck.
Duck country.
And their wine is basically, and in fact, when I was in Paris, we had this tannin with some duck. Oh, it was so good. It was so good. But yes, and your house is a project, an ongoing project at all times.
Yeah, my house will never be finished.
No.
We've got lots of outbuildings where we're developing it for many ideas, for music.
Are you actually going ahead with that?
We don't know. It's up to the lads if they want to. We turn into a little music. What do you call it again?
The studio.
Yeah, kind of music studio for them to practice, write music, get away from the wicked London.
Yeah.
Quiet, peaceful, and they can play to their heart content. And they have another outbuilding where they can sleep for the night.
Yeah.
Well,
that's a big.
Rejuvenate.
You say outbuilding, it's massive.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite large. Yeah.
And the studio is essentially a barn that's 3 parts, 3 garages, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the bit where you keep your car is big enough for about 4 cars. And then there's the next section.
No, it's only big enough to put my motorbike so no cars can get in there. So my bike gets in the way of anything getting past it.
And he's got this massive silver wing, that's it.
Just been renovated, yeah.
That is a beautiful bike.
In fact, Philip, pretty much the same colour as this. It's a burgundy.
Well, that's actually,
I mean, the colour of the bike.
Yeah.
And that's much
And so looking at that colour, how rich is that? I mean, that is deep, isn't it? I mean, that is deep. And I don't know.
It really is. Very nice.
A really good thing to come back to on this wine now. So if you give it a good swirl, and then when you bring your nose to it after the swirl, think of maybe brake. You know the smell of brakes when you've really hit them?
Oh, yeah.
Or that sort of, it's sort of a graphite-y smell, so go to that. Are you getting that at all?
Yeah.
So,
I can. Whether it's psychological or not, I don't know. But yeah, there's so many flavours coming out to it.
Yeah.
Very nice. And that does go with duck.
Yeah. This would go with anything rich.
Magret.
This would go with anything rich. In fact, actually, as part of this, I put out 3 cheeses because it's a bit sort of stereotypical with Bordeaux because Saint-Julien is in Bordeaux, and there's generally the sort of tradition is 3 cheeses: a sort of camembert or a sort of softer white cheese, a blue cheese, so I've got a bit of Stilton, and a hard cheese, cheddar. And I know of your selection you would go cheddar. So in a minute we can try.
I like all the cheese. Yeah, they
do
a good one in France with that, which I like, which is a Comté, which to me is very close to a
delicious
cheddar. Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, in fact I had it when I was with you down in your way, and we had last week in one of my lessons we had champagne with the poisse. I don't know if you've ever tried a poisse. That's a really soft, creamy cheese. Oh, I tell you what,
it's actually falling to bits. It's kind of, what's the word?
Like
collapsing.
Yeah. What's it called? Yeah. What's the food that collapses in on it? Souffle.
Oh yeah.
It sort of souffles on itself.
Yeah.
Although that's heat.
It's like melting.
Yeah.
Very nice, stinky, smelly cheese.
So, thinking about the music studio, because of course your nephew
sister's kids are
in a band.
In a couple of bands, yeah.
Which is pretty cool. They're a really good band. They are.
There's 2 of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
One is a 4-man band.
Yeah.
And the other one has just 2 of them.
Yeah. Which one's which?
Joe has a 2. No, Joe has a 4.
Yeah.
And Tom has a 2. So one plays guitar and drums. They both play guitar and drums. And the other one has I think a drummer, keyboard, and 2 guitar players.
Basically, for anyone listening to this, your entire family has talent.
No, well,
yeah, they do.
Yeah. They're keen to do it. So it's the talent they probably worked hard at, not just naturally.
To give you some sort of clue, I came round here. I wasn't long dating my missus, and I came round and I was just sort of practicing my guitar. And Paul goes to me, "Oh yeah, I give it a go here and there. Not much. You know, don't really ever pick one up." Next thing you know, he's playing sort of classical Spanish guitar.
Who's that then?
Pardon?
Who?
You.
Oh.
He was saying, who was that? And he played for about an hour straight, and it sounded like a professional guitarist was in the room. Maybe you are, I don't know.
No, I'm not.
You're a man of many hidden talents.
I just like to play. You play and you've got a sound and you've got an ear for music, so it doesn't matter what you play, piano, the guitar, the violin, as long as you know the basic notes.
Yeah, it's true.
Then you can play anything.
Yeah.
A bit of practice. Yeah, it's fun.
Did you play instruments as a kid then?
Yeah.
Did you?
School,
Yeah. And what school did you go to, or do you not want to say?
I went to St Augustine's, which is a boarding school in Kent, run by Benedictine monks.
Oh, really? Oh, rather.
Yes.
Oh.
A funny lot.
Yeah.
But we can't get into that.
Well, we won't. But the Benedictine monks have been instrumental in wine production.
Yeah, indeed, yeah. But yeah, they like their drink, don't they?
They do.
Like
they
their
do.
cigars.
Do they?
They just all smoke pipes, the occasional cigar when nobody's watching, and have a tip or three.
Well, they're very famous for the wine production they did down in the south of France, not far from you. Very famous for what they did in Burgundy. And yeah, they're just instrumental in wine production. But also a lot of other stuff. Let's not go into that. Indeed. And so now, what are you looking to build at the bottom of your garden in France?
And what we did before, you mean?
Yeah.
We built a runway, so we've got a long strip of land, which is they're all vineyards a long time ago. When we were there, when we first moved, it was all vineyards, and then they changed to maize.
Yeah.
And part of the fields they put kiwis on there now.
Yeah.
That's quite interesting. When their kiwis come in season, they ban kiwis from New Zealand coming over to there.
Really?
The French, that's what the French are like.
Yeah, they are.
They protect their own.
They have a real history of stuff like that. Do you know in Bordeaux, we're going back about 400 years ago, Bordeaux as a wine production zone was like really kicking off. It was, they were really making a profit, and they were making a lot of profit off the British and the Dutch. The British because we were Catholic, and so every church needed red wine for mass, so they were selling, claret up there to a penny, and to the Dutch they were selling sweet wine. So they had this huge thing going on, and where you live, they were producing wine as well, and they were floating it up the river to Bordeaux to get it out to market. And the Bordelais went, I think we'll tax that, and they taxed it so high that people couldn't actually use the routes out, and so the entire area surrounding Bordeaux, basically it killed off the wine production. That's why, even though where you live the wine is as good as Bordeaux, it's not bought outside of. It stifled them so much that so the French have always done that. They're so naughty. They're so naughty.
They're protection. Yeah, you can't. I mean, that's what they like.
Yeah, they are.
Nice people.
Do you want to try a bit of cheese then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So which one do you want to try first? Soft? Well, I think we should probably go in a particular route, which is the smelliest being the blue. It would make sense to take that last because it's going to have the most impact on your palate.
Yeah.
Then should we go, the hard cheese is mature, so would it make sense to go?
Why not? Yep.
Okay.
So my first introduction to wine was in our next farmer's field, where he used to grow his own grapes, make his own wine. He had massive vats, which must have been 3 times the ceiling of this.
Oh, really?
And I used to stand under it before it was finished and drink from it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's right. And that's the first time I got drunk.
How old were you?
About 15. No, about 17.
Nice.
No, maybe a bit older than that. Maybe a bit older than that, but I drank it straight out there. So they said, you can't, but I did, and it was very nice.
So my first introduction to drink was at my cousin's wedding, or my sister's wedding. And I'd never been drunk before. I was about 15 years old, same as you. And so of course you're drinking and you have no idea what effects it's having on you.
Exactly, yeah.
And so then when it hits you, you're too
game
far
over.
gone.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you have no concept. Yeah. And then a few months later, my cousin got married. And this time I was like, don't do what you did at your sister's wedding. Don't do that again. And what I didn't know, so I was sat there having my meal, and a couple of the older boys sat around the table. Every time I was looking away, they were topping up my glass.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was just drinking. Apparently I drank about a bottle and a half over dinner at 15 years old. Didn't have a clue. And then, so now
thinking it's not affecting you.
Yeah.
You're doing it so quick, yeah.
Yeah. And but I wasn't topping up my glass, so I just thought I was having one glass in my head.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. And
I think it's a large glass, it's lasting forever.
The meal finished, and my brother-in-law's dad came up to me and went, "Hey Sam, you might be able to get a drink at the bar. Do you want a pint?" And I went, "Yeah, I do." But of course by this point I was gone. And yeah, So my 2 introductions to drink full stop were unpleasant, shall we say. They were pleasant at first,
Yeah.
sure. Right, let's try this.
Yeah.
The soft cheese
Yeah.
on wine.
That's lovely bread.
I like ciabatta.
That is really lovely wine, must say.
Oh, I'll tell you what. That gives a softness to the wine and brings something out of the back of the palate.
And having it in a large glass is the right way as well.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Well, this is a Bordeaux glass.
But it's funny when we go round to the farmer's house that makes the wine and we drink it, they always just pour it in little water tumblers
Yeah.
and knock it back really quick. They don't give it much time to talk about it. At the lunchtime one, in the evening they kind of talk about it a little bit more.
Well, this wine, so Léoville Barton are one of the. Okay, this could be. I don't want to cause an argument for anyone who's listening. It's one of the big boy houses, the big boy chateau in Bordeaux. Now, some people are going to go, yeah, but who cares? Okay, no. Okay, if they're going to say that, they're right. It's meaningless. However, this is their second wine. So basically, they produce a premium wine. And then obviously, as vines get older, they have to. So the older the vine, the better the grape. But there is a certain point where the vine is so old that it produces so few grapes that it's no longer profitable. So they rip that vine out, or that row of vines out, or that field of vines out, and they'll put in young vines. Problem is, those young vines aren't adding to the eventual wine. They vinify it separately, and then sell it as a second wine.
Okay, yeah.
But they're still on high quality soil, and it's not like they're releasing a 5-year-old wine, a 5-year-old vine wine. They're releasing is still an older wine, and it'll still be, a very good Bordeaux wine. So this is their second wine.
Which is exceedingly good.
Yeah. Well, I have not tried their Premier Cru, but I'm pretty keen to. But to part with over £100. It's a lot of money.
It is.
So get on with it. Open the checkbook. Right, I'm gonna.
Right, very good.
Yeah, and then we can see which of these cheeses you prefer with the wine.
Well, first one's very enjoyable with it.
Yeah, it really was, wasn't it? But you never know what you're gonna like until you've. It's like with wine. You don't know if you're really enjoying a wine until you try a wine that you don't like or you like more.
Yeah.
And you need to try them together. I've got a hair in my mouth. Perfect. Right. Yeah, that graphite note is really strong. And there's a licoricey note to this wine. And a little bit of
There's certainly a different. You can really tell the difference between a regular table wine and this, big time. I mean, I always used to think you couldn't really, but you certainly can.
I think most people say that because, I'll tell you in a second because I'm eating.
They probably don't talk about it, or they just drink it without, while eating their dinner, don't really discuss it like you are. But this is certainly a...
That hard cheese really works. Really works. It brings out, it makes the wine work harder, it feels like. Do you know what I mean? Like it softens it up, but then it forces you to examine that wine a little bit harder. No, do you know what I think the reason people think that is? Let's say the average person in England spends £5 to £10, something like that on wine.
Say, yeah.
Now let's say for them, so if you're spending 5 to 10, means 8's your average. So spending 12 to 15 is a lot of money on a bottle of wine. And 12 to 15 does not guarantee you good wine. No more than any number does. But I also think that it's not such a step up that you recognise the difference. And I think if you were to go out and buy a 12 to 15 pound bottle of wine when you normally drink an 8 pound bottle of wine, you go, it doesn't taste that much difference. Especially when you haven't got an 8 pound bottle of wine in front of you and a 15 pound bottle of wine in front of you.
Yeah.
Because you don't generally drink them together, you drink them separately. But if you were to take an 8 pound bottle of wine from the same spot as a 30 or 40 pound bottle of wine, you'd know the difference. I think you really would. I don't think it would be.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
I think
after the last few you've opened.
Yeah.
The last one, I say last one, that when you opened, seriously, I was shocked at that. I thought I actually could tell how nice that wine was.
That was from Pessac-Léognan, which is literally it's the south of Bordeaux, the actual city of Bordeaux. That
Pessac.
wine, that wine was something special, wasn't it? I mean,
there's a lovely vineyard right there.
Well, it's the whole area's vineyards.
Yeah, a special one in Pessac.
Really?
Yeah.
So,
Pessac, I can't remember the name of it now.
Well, Pessac-Léognan is the first vineyard in Bordeaux to have been recognised. It was Aubryon.
Oh.
And so Aubryon is arguably the most expensive vineyard in Bordeaux. I say arguably, it's not. There's others. But it's the oldest. It was the first to be recognised. It was the first big chateau. All round, fascinating place, Pessac-Léognan. So, just a quick one, and this is really important. This isn't from Naked Wines, but as of this week, I'm going to be putting up on my Instagram profile a link to Naked Wines. They've given me a £75 voucher off to all my followers. So if you click on the link, you can buy a case of 12 wines that would be £120 or £115, something along those lines, and it comes in at 45 quid. So that's less than £4 a bottle of wine, and it's a really good deal. They tell you all about the wines, the winemakers, they give you so much information, and also there's some really good deals in future purchases, how to save money, and also how you can help the wine trade, because the wine trade's actually quite a tricky business. But anyway, now carrying on with drinking this. So yeah, you're thinking about putting a runway down at the bottom of your...
Oh, no, it's been done.
It's been done?
Yeah.
I haven't been down
I was just going back a few years,
okay.
quite a few years ago. So getting back to the farmer who I used to drink the wine from, who owned all the fields, and their little chateau up there. His son loves thinking about what to do in life, and he knew I was interested in flying, and he thought of a great idea of, if any terrorists got in an aeroplane, to give everybody a parachute. But little did he know, at 39,000 feet, if you jump out of an aeroplane, you won't really survive anyway.
No, you'd freeze, wouldn't you?
Yeah. And lots of other things, no oxygen up there. But nevertheless, he sold me his field at the bottom.
Oh, nice.
Okay. I couldn't really buy it.
Oh, is that the one we looked out over?
Yeah, so when you look out my bedroom window...
Yeah, so we went down through the trees, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's that long
field, yeah. And he wanted me to buy the field, but I couldn't put it in my name, because I'm not a farmer. So I had to buy the field, he had to buy the field, I had to give him the money, but he'd give me a little runway down the middle.
Yeah.
So he built a little grass strip for me the whole length, which is 3 times longer I need, but I could only come in from one end. Right. So I bought a little light aeroplane.
Did you?
Little Cessna 172 RG.
Nice.
Where we could come in and out. We weren't really meant to, because in France, in England you can landowners permission, but over there you need permission. Right. Because we're under the military zone as well of Mont-de-Marsan, which is a long way from us, but it's a zone where they practice flying. Right. So we asked the mayor. The mayor said, "Okay, bring it in occasionally, but don't make too much noise." Okay. We gave him a free ride and took him around. Anyway, we did that for a couple of years and then sold it. So he wanted me to buy this field so that I could bring all the visitors from England to buy his foie gras, all the jams he was making, his wine. But I didn't quite realise that you can only put 3 people, apart from the pilot, 3 people in the back, and he can't carry as much as he wanted to make. So it was a bit of fun, but we flew the plane in and out of there, and it was excellent, but we don't do that anymore. Would you plan on doing it again? I'd like to. Yeah. Yeah, if we do it the right way around and get proper permission, then it gets more expensive. But yeah, it'd be nice. What we wanted to do is get a fly-in, so we can invite all private pilots to fly in there. They can stay the night, have a tent, or go to the local area.
Mm-hmm.
They can buy all the products from the farm, the local area, buy fuel, which helps them to stay in the field. It'd be like a little flying community.
Nice.
Yeah, we'd like to do it in the future. One day we might do that.
And so where did you learn to fly?
Well, I learned to fly years ago in England, and then I went. Then after I got married, I thought I'd love to go to America to fly. So I went over to America, switched over my licenses, got an instructor rating, and then toured a bit of flying. I then got a job in a Metroliner, little twin turboprop, flying passengers around to the Bahamas.
Nice.
Yeah, around the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, Dominican Republic, and we did flights to Haiti. Yeah.
Did you?
Daily, yeah.
Really?
Day. Yeah, it's fantastic fun.
That sounds like amazing.
Yeah, it's absolutely fabulous.
And so you've seen basically the whole of the Bahamas.
Yeah, I flew around the Bahamas, all the little islands, main island, Nassau. Yeah, I flew people all around from one little patch to another because it's easier to fly than drive.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can't drive across water, but some of the islands, there's so many rivers you couldn't get from one end to the other. So we used to fly them within islands, like Andros Island, from Mangrove Key to Andros Town, lots of little places.
If someone comes to you and they say, what's the island to go to? What would you say?
Every island has their own. Every island is different.
Yeah.
So if you go to Nassau, which is the capital,
Yeah.
you've got lovely beaches around there. Then you've got Atlantis. You've got so many different things, but it's a bigger town.
It's quite commercial, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nassau.
Yeah, and then you've got the out islands. All the keys. There's so many Abercrombie.
Yeah.
There's so many there.
Yeah.
Little home study, but some of them you can only get in with. You can only get in most of them with tiny little aeroplanes. They're always tiny.
Which one would you go to?
I go a lot to Bimini Island, which is the closest. Bimini.
Bimini.
Which is the closest island. Only because my friend's got a house there.
Oh.
And it takes 25 minutes to get there.
Oh, he's got a house out there, has he?
No, it's a girl.
Oh, it's a lady.
A lady.
A lady friend.
Yeah. Karen, very nice girl. She's a pilot too. Flies for Spirit Airlines.
All right.
So she goes there on her days off, and it's fantastic. Her little dog gets in the back.
Really?
She's got a little 6-seater aircraft. Yeah. So I used to work for her as well.
Oh, really?
I used to fly fruit and veg down to Staniel Key for hotels and bar to get all the fresh fruit from.
Of course.
Yeah, from Fort Lauderdale.
That sounds
Down.
amazing.
Yeah, it's good fun.
Because that's where Ursula, that's the missus, obviously.
Yeah. That's where
she grew up, didn't she?
Yeah. She was born in Fort Lauderdale. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. And so, in all your piloting times, what's in your little ones, what's the scariest moment? Have you had a scary moment?
Never had a scary moment.
You never had a scary moment?
No.
Are you too good a pilot?
No, not doing being a pilot, but airplanes are built well. All you've got to do is be sensible.
Yeah.
Don't fly into bad weather.
I was going to say, so you've never been caught in a storm?
Been caught in lots of storms, but you're always trying to get out of them. The worst case storm we've ever had was when we were coming back from Haiti, and there was a storm coming from South Carolina all the way to Cuba, and we couldn't
outrun it.
There's no way you could get above it in
Really?
airplanes. Yeah, they go really high. You couldn't get below it.
Yeah.
And only once did I ever have to divert, and it went into Bimini, funnily enough, because we couldn't get through it. But most times, Miami Control, which controlled that particular area, New York controlled that particular area.
Yeah.
They used to pick us through the storms. They're very, very clever.
Really?
Yeah. So, for the next few minutes, it could be really bad. But I remember one day when we used to fly the Haitians back, they always used to sing in the back of the aeroplane when it got bumpy.
Mm.
So we knew that they were a bit nervous. And one day I remember I said to the other pilot, it's very quiet down the back and it's really, really bad weather.
Yeah.
So we looked down the back, everybody's wearing their life jackets.
Really?
They were that scared.
Really? Wow.
But the plane can take a lot of abuse, so it won't go down yet.
And so you're flying through the Bahamas, you see the storm coming, you're on radio,
we have radar.
Yeah.
So we can see the storms.
Yeah.
The tropical storms, you can see them from miles away. Most of our flights were in the daytime.
Yeah.
So we used to leave about 6 in the morning and we used to get back about 5, 6 in the evening.
Yeah.
So you could see it. And in the mornings it was beautiful, and then in the afternoon they used to build up. So as we used to come back about 3 or 4 o'clock, it could be treacherous.
Now, only because I listened to somebody else, so I don't really know what I'm talking about here.
Oh.
I'm just going to I listen to someone who does podcasts.
Oh yeah.
And they've got their instrument rating.
Yeah.
So I know these terms now because of
Okay.
him. But
Okay.
not because I know the
Yeah,
terms.
yeah,
Okay, so how long did you stay on visual flight rules, and then how long was it before you moved on to your instrument?
What are you asking me? Sorry.
So, because when you...
In that weather, you mean?
So as in, because pilots start off with their visual flight...
Okay, Yup. Okay, so we learn to fly visually.
Yeah.
How to, manipulate an aeroplane. And then when the weather gets bad...
Yeah.
You need to be able to fly the aeroplane with no reference to outside because you can't see anything, you're in the cloud.
Yeah.
Like really heavy fog. So you learn how to fly the instruments.
Yeah.
So you just fly the aeroplane using the instruments, and that can keep you straight and level in the turns and your descent for final approach to landing.
Yeah. So how long did you fly with just your visual?
I had probably...
rating?
I probably had about 500 hours messing around, and I did my instrument rating. And your instrument rating is basically just to protect yourself in case you go into instrument meteorological conditions, IMC. So it's really, there's a backup for light aircraft pilots.
Yeah.
But all commercial pilots have to have that rating because we fly high up in the air, and we fly in so you have to fly IFR even in visual conditions.
Yeah.
In instrument flight rules.
Of course, you're so high.
Yeah, high, or flying down airways where you don't fly VFR.
Yeah.
But VFR just means you can fly visually.
And so, how much longer until you maybe just start that up as your own little business and just fly people, like we were saying a minute ago? Do you reckon you'll do it?
Oh, that's not flying people as a business. That'd be flying people for fun.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
for fun.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We'll see.
Because I'd like you to get it, because then you can come pick me up and take me down to Bordeaux.
When you make a lot of money.
No, you've missed the point. You're not listening to me. I'll start again. I want you, charitably, for free, to fly here, and I don't want to have to go to the airport like Shoreham. I want you to get a helicopter, fly it to here.
Well, I can land on the sea for you, get a seaplane.
At last.
Or amphibian, so it can land on the sea and the hard
At
land.
last. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, why not?
So tell me, in your final summarisation of everything, what do you reckon of the wine?
Truthfully, I'd give it a high number.
Yeah. What would you say?
Well, I don't know.
Are you ranking it out of 10, 100?
Well, let's just say we did it out of 10.
Okay.
5 would be an average wine. 6 would be quite a nice wine. Anything after that, I can't really tell the difference. That is exceptional.
Yeah.
So unless I get a better one, I'd say that's a perfect red wine. One of the best I've ever had.
Yeah, it is. It's a beautiful red wine. And 2016, really, really good year for Bordeaux. Very, very good year. And it does exactly what a Saint Julien is supposed to do. It's that chocolate cherry flavour. So when you get it, in fact, I'm going to pull myself out a little extra. You get that chocolate cherry right on the front of your mouth. I'm just going to pull myself a little bit because that's a little bit out of it. Try it. So you get that chocolate cherry. Then there's like I don't know if you know what I'm saying here, but there's that sort of garden herb sort of smell to it, sort of a sagey, thymy.
There's many flavours. I mean, we can talk flavours, and you can pick so many flavours. Especially
I think you're right. There's a vanilla note to it, and then, and then
that's jolly good.
Beautiful tannins, because they're not dry. Like, so when you're looking for the tannins, you're looking for where does it dry your mouth out, and it's quite uniform. It's not drying just the front. It's not just drying the cheeks. It's drying out throughout. But the high acidity, and that is quite high acid, just makes your mouth water and just replenish it straight. I love that. I love that in a good wine.
That is very Moorish, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
You couldn't just leave it and put a cork in it.
I think what I'm probably end up doing is buying another bottle of that.
Just to make sure it's good.
Yeah. No, but leaving it. That could be opened in 10 years and it would be spot on. Because you want it to, so from this it will go into a bit of a tertiary note. What that means is like it's cooked. It's got cooked flavour, sort of like a sherry kind of flavour to it. And that'd be really nice. And one other point, what did you think of the blue Stilton?
Excellent, yeah.
The saltiness of the
I
Stilton.
like the blue was better than the hard cheddar.
Yeah. The saltiness of the Stilton really works with this wine, in my opinion. Like you immediately taste that saltiness. Yeah. Then you have the wine and everything's just accentuated. Definitely, if I was advising this to someone, I'd say you were drinking it over the course of an evening, I would say start with the Camembert. Have that, and I would do it with a bit of thyme. I'd cook the Camembert, put some thyme on it, and I think that would really work well early in the evening. And then as the evening progressed, if it's still any left, I'd have the Stilton at the end.
Yes.
The hard cheese, maybe that's not the right hard cheese. Maybe that wasn't a good enough cheddar. I don't know.
Yeah, it's nice, but the other two are better.
Yeah.
With the wine.
I absolutely agree. So, final advice. I'm looking straight down the camera here for everyone. Final piece of advice. If you're going to buy a decent Bordeaux wine, as in, a named cru appellation, make sure you buy the right cheeses with it and really savour it and get a good year. So 2016, good year. 2015, excellent year. 2010, excellent year. 2009, excellent year. And 2018 is shaped up to be a fantastic year. 2017, not so good. And 2013 was considered one of the worst vintages of all time, so avoid that. So if you see a 2013 in a restaurant, so say they've got like a high-priced Bordeaux and it says 2013 on it, definitely not worth the money you're paying. Outside of that, thank you, Paul.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you very much. It's a lovely wine, lovely cheeses.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
We'll have another conversation at some point.
No
and next week, I am interviewing a lovely lady who has started her own business, is doing fantastic, and it'd be worth tuning in for, see how she's gone about it, what she's done, and what she's going to do with it. So, from Fine Vine Wines, Sam, Paul,
thank you.
Goodbye. Thank you very much.